Hey guys, it's David here, and welcome to Hot Tuck Tapes, a little show where I and sometimes special guests share our thoughts on RuPaul's Drag Race. And back again is Foster.
Hey guys, can't get rid of me that easy.
And just a little disclaimer, neither of us are drag performers, nor are we experts in the world of drag. We are simply fans of the show who want to start a conversation with you guys on the interwebs. Many of you expressed that you wanted to hear Foster's thoughts on last week's big twist. So I want to, before we get into episode 7, I wanted to give Foster a moment on the soapbox to give his opinions, since y'all only heard my point of view last week. So I'm starting the timer now. Okay. Foster, please give all of your thoughts.
Overall, I watched your video, although I don't remember the specific points now, and I don't think I agreed with anything you said. So probably.
What else is new?
I mean, the Losing Girls song was by far better. I thought Asha had the single standout performance. I thought Bebe's...
I'm shocked. I'm so surprised.
Well, no, and that's not just because I'm Team Aja, but I thought her verse was the best. I didn't like Trixie's. You liked Trixie's. I thought her lyrics were cringy. If you're being a nerd character, you should understand what the, nerdy words you're saying mean. And she said something to the power, to the cosine, and I was like, girl, you don't even know math. I didn't like, what was it, like a little pie on her overall? I didn't like it. I thought the winning girls, although they ostensibly looked more like a Spice Girls group, overall their looks were worse. I didn't think Chi-Chi was the standout of the losing team at all. I thought her look was bad. Her dancing was good, but her look was on the same level as Kennedy's. They were both bad. I thought that Bebe was horrendous and deserved to be in the bottom for this. I agree with you that the leopard print and all these animal prints is getting super tired. I want something else from Bebe if she's going to stick around. Give us a reason for you to be here, Bebe. We know you don't sew, so I'm sure you must have had people make garments for you. Hopefully they aren't all animal print. I also thought Sitting on a Secret wasn't a terrible song. You thought it was awful. I thought it was the better of the two songs, too.
I'm really shocked you didn't like Thorgy. I thought that, Cardio Kitty was
I thought she did okay, but it's basically just a rehash of a look she did for the roller skating challenge in her season. I thought the best two on the Losing Girls team were Aja and actually Milk.
Wow. Okay, yeah, we did have very different opinions.
Because Milk's look, while not, I mean, outside of the buffalo platform shoes, which I can really relate to that because I have some now because I love the Spice Girls. And it took me a while to get into it. At the time, I was too much of a closeted boy to admit it. But after it was no longer right in vogue to be into the Spice Girls, I got really into them just myself. But yeah, no, with the buffalo boot and it said kitty, the kitty was a little tacky, but whatever. I liked this overall thing. And I thought that Milk shading Sasha in her lyric was really funny. Did you catch that when she's like, if you say your drag is art, it's not. It's that's clearly a pot shot at, that's clearly a pot shot at Sasha. So
Catty.
Yeah. No, I thought they were the two standouts, and I was sure that the Losing Girls were going to win, and it would be an exact copy of last season where it would be a lip sync between Morgan and Aja. And Ru would be like, wow, you both win, you both come back in the competition, and then get rid of somebody. And then because there was a Ben spoiler, I thought Ben was just going to be like, no, take me. But that's not what happened. Bendela's verse was bad. I didn't like it. And I thought that the makeup was really unflattering for her, both in the... It made more sense in the goth look she wore, which was just Julie Andrews, a little different. But I thought it was really unflattering in the look she chose to lip sync in. I will say, I'm super glad that they finally had lip sync to Nobody's Supposed to Be Here. For a few years, I've been like, okay, let's think what songs are going to be lip synced to next season. And that's always been on my list, so that's good. But I was floored that they didn't do a Spice Girls song. I really wanted a Spice Girls song with Emma there. And my favorite is Say You'll Be There, so that's what I would have liked, but they didn't do that. So Bebe totally dominated until she removed her wig, so I think I agreed with you on that. But as for Bendela Christ, it kind of just left a bad taste in my mouth. I'm obviously more of a Ben fan than David is, whether he is ready to acknowledge or not. But I do think that the way that she chose to leave, even as she was trying to carry herself with this self-sacrificing and I'm being the bigger person, but it really came off as very pious and holier than thou, and that didn't sit great with me. She told herself, okay, I'm gonna do my best, but about halfway through I'm just gonna quit. so they can't eliminate me. I feel like she had that in mind.
So you think she had this planned from the start?
Kind of, yeah. I think what she didn't plan was to like win almost all of the challenges up to that point. So I think that's most of my takes from the episode, really.
Let's get into my best squirrel friend's drag maid's wedding trip. Hoorah.
Just from the episode title, I think it gives an adequate representation of how disjointed and bad this episode and the concept for the challenge was. I almost feel like Ross Matthews himself wrote the script and idea for the challenge because it made no sense and it was not very good.
I feel like Nina and Tina wrote the screenplay.
I'm just going to say this now. You left it on the cutting room floor of last week, but I had some choice words for Ross Matthews, but I will say them in a more calm way. I don't think he has any business being on the show anymore. I just really don't. He doesn't really contribute very much for me. When they introduced Carson and Ross, they were supposed to be complimentary judges. Carson was supposed to be about like look and like style, runway, glamour, and Ross was supposed to be there for like comedy and acting challenges. But frankly, I feel like Carson is a better judge and critique of the acting challenges too. So I don't really know what it is that Ross is contributing here because he's not funny on panel. He doesn't give good direction. I think he's a waste of a seat.
Wrapping up the Bendela moment where she eliminates herself.
Yeah, everyone's all shook.
Bebe won't reveal who she chose to send home out of respect for Bendela's decision.
That's bullshit. I think it's real that the girls are irritated with her. I think it's bull that she won't just fess up and say who she eliminated, because everyone else has had to say who they would have eliminated, and it's awkward to tell a girl who's still there, yeah, I would have sent you home. But she needs to fess up and say so. That said, who do you think she chose? Because I personally think she chose Trixie.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that she did choose Trixie and knows that that's like not a very popular choice to have, so wanted to stay silent. But I think it backfired because instead of making one enemy, she made four. Yeah, like by choosing not to say anything, it just immediately,
Well, more than that, I think she made a million enemies because I think everyone who watched the episode was very unimpressed with her antics this episode. I think we should just directly also talk about the second triggering moment of Bebe this episode when much later she revealed that she doesn't know who Ornacia is.
Oh, you're really skipping far ahead, but yeah, I forgot about that. I was gonna talk about her casting and the fact that she didn't identify with it. But yeah, no, she doesn't know, she doesn't watch the show. Yeah. Tamar, she's never watched the show.
Oh, absolutely not. Whoever said it was right, was it Shangela? Who's like, oh, she won season 1. She doesn't need to watch any of us anymore. Oh, she can't be bothered.
But like, it's true. That's exactly what happened.
Absolutely.
But honestly, now I don't need to feel bad anymore that when I met her, I fully told her, I never watched season 1, I'm sorry. And I felt so bad. And now it's like, I don't have to anymore.
I fully watched it. Nobody did. And you know what? I remember a lot about Drag Race. I don't remember really anything about season 1. Well, that's not true. I do remember stuff. But I don't remember what Bebe did that was really that great from season 1, to be honest. She's lucky that Nina and Angina got in their own way.
Kennedy had some good notes on Bendela leaving. She basically spelled out all of the different reasons Bendela could have won and like didn't really pull punches. She's like, she could have been serving her image. She could have just been tired of everything. She could have been, had this planned or whatever. Kennedy was really drawing some like good insights and kind of saying what everybody was thinking.
Yep, Kennedy's great. Kennedy's just like frequently right about stuff, with the exception of like on her season, she was like weirdly judgmental of all the like white twink queens, which is real because a lot of them, like Pearl, Violet, like I get it, but like Max, actually, yeah, they kind of all deserve whatever.
Well, and also when you incorporate what she talks about later on in this episode of always like being the second thought of queen, which I thought was like honestly a really transcendent moment. I felt really, I don't know, I felt for her in that. Like, that blows to be part of this fan base that really idolizes a very specific kind of queen.
It's
and
true.
Then you have Kennedy, who's like a living legend of the pageant scene, a poster child for an entire genre of drag. And then, like, these fans, it's like pearls upon swine almost.
She is a fierce performer, and if you have the chance to go see her live, she's great. She was here in Minneapolis, and I remember there was some rabble-rousing twinks, like 2 rows behind me, who were literally fully turned around the other way, talking loudly over her performance, and she had to like stop it and publicly shame these people, as well she should, for getting in the way of what was really a phenomenal performance.
End of the Road?
Yep.
Is that the song?
Yep, that's what it was.
With her like spinning in a million circles and giving everything, like
Yep.
that is the live performer you want to see.
Absolutely.
So I mean, good for her pulling a Patti LuPone, like, you know, telling them to shut up and like turn around and
Yep.
enjoy the legend in front of them.
Yep.
Trixie, I wrote at this point, is going to win. So I guess at this point I was like agreeing with you. I don't know, something about the intro segment, I was like, all right, Bendel is gone, Trixie's gonna win.
Yeah.
Morgan says that she is overjoyed to be back, and yet her forehead moves so very little.
Honestly, I've never been to Cali, but I feel like it's part of just like paying taxes. It's like, okay, I paid my taxes for the year, I went in and got Botox.
I remember my notes for episode 1 were literally, Morgan gets eliminated for being a West Hollywood gay. Because of her strategy.
Fair.
Scrap Together Challenge, it's an amalgamation of a lot of award-winning movies.
The challenge is really stupid.
If we're gonna like pull for little redeeming qualities, I'll acknowledge whoever's passion was graphic design chose very good fonts for the parody movie titles.
Okay, word. What random choices for movies? Erin Brockovich, Black Swan, Hidden Figures, La La Land, and what was the last one?
Bridesmaids, The Road Trip.
No, not in the name of the movie, the actual characters.
Oh, I thought that there was one character from each movie.
David, no. Okay, the movies that the characters they were playing were from, The Queen.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Oh, yeah, The Queen.
So none of the movies in the title of the movie, David.
Oh, wow.
None.
Right, okay.
Do you know what films compose the title of the episode?
Oh my god, I'm so tired.
I'm sorry, it's a real question.
This is so unimportant.
Yeah, it is. You can cut. Well, you can keep in the part where you look like an idiot.
So we have the casting next. Morgan is assigned the wonderful task of assigning roles.
Which I think she did a terrible job at.
She kind of let them choose to start off and then just kind of ignored what half of them wanted to
frankly,
play.
the only good thing Ross Matthews has ever done on the show, maybe, is correctly tell her that she should have cast herself as Erin Brockovich.
I thought that Trixie would have been funny as the Black Swan character.
I think Trixie should have been La La Land.
Bebe being surprised that she was cast as the queen and suddenly having an out-of-body experience of not knowing herself. When you meet Bebe, she'll be like, "Kiss the ring, darling, you're meeting royalty, blah, blah, blah."
No,
so I don't know if she was...
Can we just acknowledge that's verbatim what she said?
So
yeah,
I'm not sure if she was just putting this on for the camera, being like, who, me?
I think she
the
really
queen?
doesn't have that sense of self-awareness. I think she thinks that people understand. I don't know what she thinks about herself when she does this, whether it's just her personality or a constant affectation. But I feel like whatever it is, she has an expectation of how people receive her, and it's absolutely not how people receive her.
But half the time I feel like she thinks she is a royalty and a queen. So that's why I'm like, why wasn't she flattered by being assigned this role? Why, you know, suddenly in this episode, suddenly she thinks she's like silly and down to earth and blah, blah, blah. But that completely contradicts what we've seen from Bebe in any of the other episodes.
Yeah, no, this was a perfect casting for her because once again, they lined up a challenge where Bebe just needs to be Bebe. She kind of messes it up, but really she kind of just is herself.
I mean, none of them did particularly well in the challenge, but Bebe was just basically like...
I will say Shangela did well playing Shangela because that's what they think Octavia Spencer is like.
Yeah, Shangela and Trixie, but Trixie was also, to a point, playing Trixie, so yeah.
No, I mean, Trixie was doing what she needed to do. I would have liked to see Trixie's iteration of the La La Land girl, because I feel like she
I agree. I think it would have been very jaded and very biting.
Yeah, she would have actually made fun of Emma Stone, which they also said is what they wanted. So everyone this season is just being themselves. Trixie being Trixie, Shangela being Shangela, Bebe being Bebe. And also, on the note of Shangela, can I just say that what is up with these glasses? These are the same glasses she wore in the lip sync to Katy Perry against Bendel Creme, right? And then she wore them as Octavia Spencer. She wore them in The Bachelor as the... Did she wear them in The Bachelor too? I'm not sure.
When they were in their polygamous couple,
I know she wore glasses, but I thought they were different, but I'm not sure. And then she wears them again at the lip sync in this episode. Like, what is up with the... Like, is this Jocelyn's necklace again, girl? Like, come on. Stop it.
I will speak from experience. Every actor has that one pair of fake glasses that they wear when they need to get into a sort of a nerdy character. I have one in my drawer that I have worn in multiple shows.
I will just say, and quote, legend, I think his name's Chris Stein from Blondie. Whatever he said to Chi-Chi, I saw that you wore the same shoe in the challenge as you did on the runway, and that's a no. So stop wearing those glasses.
Morgan, I will say, looked great.
Yes.
But kind of flatlined. Hissing would have been better than quacking, but like, you know it still probably wasn't great.
It's a lot like her snatch game from season 2. Just because you look like Pink, but you're not funny and not doing what you need to do for this challenge doesn't mean this was a good choice.
It was a very, very short filming segment. This was like one of the shortest segments of TV between commercials I've ever even seen in any show. Once we got to the mirror moment, I just wrote down like, I cannot believe that they didn't show more of the challenge. We got like 3 minutes.
Tell the PA who got you the jump rope and the Altoids to get you a different pair of like fake glasses, girl. Come on.
I'd like to take a moment to talk to you about Warby Parker. You can mail out for these glasses even when you're on Drag Race. You can try them out of the box, and you can mail 4 back. This whole conversation about Trixie being grand, I know as a Trixie fan, I wanted to hear your point of view on their interpretation of Trixie's behavior out of drag.
I think a lot of people don't understand her flavor when she's just Brian, because I think a lot of people don't have a taste for like dry, self-deprecating, deadpan, or like cutting, bitter humor, which I think is what she frequently does. So I think that's right. And I think maybe it's good that she's acknowledging that, because I think when she's on stage and doing the Trixie character or even presenting, even when she's doing comedy, it's different. She's like on. But when she's not, I think a lot of people are surprised by that if they don't really know what to expect from her. It's not unusual to me. I relate, I guess, because people definitely have said similar things about me before. I don't know if it's a Midwestern thing. I don't know.
I just like the amount of times the word grand was said during this segment. Because I'd never heard that used to describe somebody who has a big ego, but now I'm going to use it all the time.
Wait, really? You've never heard?
No, I've never heard grand
You've never heard the adjective grand?
I mean, I've heard grand in, you know, its other definitions, like a grand structure, or like a grand finale.
Oh,
but
girl.
Never like, she's so grand.
You're young, I guess.
Is this a gay term? Is this used in gay circles?
No.
Or is this...
It's an English term used by English speakers. You better keep that one in, too.
So we get to the runway, and Rue's dress was all right.
Yeah, no. Okay, yeah, Rue, she was okay.
The dress was all right, but I liked the hair a lot.
Yeah,
and I know that there was a split among the fan base. A lot of people hated this hair and thought it looked like terrible. Yep. I think that this whole like hairline kind of going straight up and then getting into the wave works well for this new like lace front moment that doesn't have so much illusion involved. I guess this is a good solution.
I actually agree with you on this. But when I was watching it, the person I was watching with really hated this, and I was there for the hair. So yeah, I agree 100% with what you just said. Like, this was very polarizing hair. I happen to like it.
Yep, and it looks like next week we're going to get the same sort of hairline, like structure going on. So I mean, I think this works. I don't think that it necessarily overtakes the work that Matthew used to do, but Delta is finding a way to kind of work around.
I don't know who this female guest was. Do you know who she is?
No idea.
Somebody Bouvet. She looked a mess. Her hair was all over the place. Her dress was falling off on one side. Her boob was almost out. Girl.
I blocked her out. I don't even remember. I did write down that Chris Colfer's hair looked great. So
I disagree.
His hair looked... How do you have an issue with his hair? It just looked like nicely coiffed hair.
Chris Colfer did not look flattering either. I feel like whoever was doing their makeup was pissed at both of them. Like, and this is
You must hate children's books. And fantasy.
What?
And Glee.
Well, I hate Glee.
He's a children's book author.
I hate Glee. Girl, she is not a children's book author.
He's directing film adaptations of the books.
He's
written
is like
14
a C-
books.
rate actor.
He's fully pivoted his career. He's written 14 books and they're signed to become movies, and he's directing the movies. Objectively speaking, it's impressive.
Well, I will say this. She's better than Darren Criss. So she got that.
Oof. Oh my God. All right, let's move on. Let's move on from this. The Red for Filth runway inspired by Alaska's iconic fragrance.
I was just gonna say, Milk is probably at home in her in her hotel room somewhere, like crying into like a bowl of cup noodle or something. That
right, both Alaska and Vivacious inspired this week's challenge, and where's Milk?
God, we're not even there yet.
First we get Bebe, who is not taking off her mask.
Yeah, she's literally, I'd like to keep it on, please.
It was like a mix of Valentina and Shea Coulee from that week.
Yes, so yeah, we're on the same page. Yeah, this is reductive. R-E-D,
I mean,
R-E-D-U-C-T-I-V-E. It's got red in it. It's reductive.
Got it.
This doesn't feel like Bebe.
I actually kind of liked it, but my reaction was like, oh, whoever designed that did really good work. It wasn't like, wow, this queen is here. It was like, oh, she got a great person to make that. And if Bebe made this, then like, excuse me for being totally incorrect.
No, well, especially but it did
because
not look like Bebe doesn't sew.
It wasn't one of my favorite looks of the evening, but it was one of my favorite of Bebe's. It gave me a good like Star Wars trooper mixed with like a Lady Gaga moment mixed with the club kid Shea Coulee kind of.
No,
I like the structure
Lady
of
Gaga's
it.
coming later, girl.
I just was waiting for there to be some sort of a cheeky, overdubbed comment referring to, like referencing Valentina's. I'd like to keep it on, please. But it's just too soon.
No, that would require that she watch the show.
No. I'm not talking about from Bebe. I'm talking about from Ru, or from one of the judges.
Yeah, exactly.
I think had it been any other like less severe situation, Ru would have done it. And
maybe if Ross Matthews wasn't a total idiot, he would have said so. Michelle should have said it. That's shame on you, Michelle. Who was next?
Kennedy was next, and I really liked this. I know that you're going to say it was like very basic and pageanty, but I thought that the size of the beads being like oversized, it's something I would normally hate, but like I think it was well put together, and it looked like she was dripping in jewels, and yeah, it wasn't like the most exciting thing in the world, but I thought it made impact when I saw it.
You're right. I thought it was boring, but let me acknowledge, you know, pageant drag in general is not to my taste, so we can hold that back from the judgment. I'm not just saying this was bad for the challenge just because it was pageant drag. I think the issue is that the challenge was literally just the color red. When the challenge is so loose, you need to give some kind of idea, something creative, something interesting.
I think the fact that it was so obviously going for rubies was maybe a thing. Like it didn't just look like a red beaded dress. It looked like she was dripping in jewels.
No.
So I mean, I guess that's sort of a concept.
Costume plastic jewelry that did not look like any ruby. Real rubies are darker than that.
Oh, I clearly do not know my gems. I need to get my holograms out and do some research. Next, we've got Shangela, who is coming out as some sort of a disease. This was, I learned after the fact, inspired by Lady Gaga from the extended cut, which, we haven't mentioned, but these were completely sped through on TV. There's no way to even comprehend anything.
The challenge was so short. Why were these runways chopped down? I don't get it.
Makes no sense.
Shangela's look. Wow. Just because you faithfully reproduce a look that a fashion person like Lady Gaga wore once doesn't mean that the original look was any good. The original look was Garbo. I don't know who the designer of this was. It kind of looked like budget Vivacious. It was very weird for her to walk out on the runway and it's literally like the kid's bouncy house inflating as she's walking.
And we didn't really get to see that at all on the original televised version. It was just kind of like there, so we didn't know that it was inflating as she was walking until it was mentioned by Chris
That was
Falker.
A choice, and if you ask me, I think it fully is that somebody made her that look, and then she got there and realized that it was, when it's inflated, it's literally too wide for her to get up the stairs and onto the runway.
Yep.
So she had to come out with it deflated, then do it, and then like uninflated to get off. Like, this was a mess. This was horrible, and I cannot believe that they liked this look or that she was declared the winner in this mess of a look.
Well, and once she's receiving the critiques and it's fully deflated, then it just has no chance of looking anything but like cheap.
Yeah. This fully does confirm what we had said previously about the new judging criteria being that like the look does not matter at all on the runway if the challenge was like acting. Maybe it's a little different in the normal race, but like, wow, does she not deserve to be a winner for this?
At least Shangela's makeup always looks good, and I didn't mind the hair, the like really oversized braid coming out. But the look itself was so distracting that I barely noticed those until I watched it again.
David, you know I don't like anything, but I didn't like anything about Shangela's look. Part of the problem when the challenge is so simple, right? The challenge is just wear red. So Kennedy was like, oh, I have a dress that's red, let me wear that. And Shangela was like, let me wear this awful-ass Lady Gaga weird look, but make it in red, not silver. Both of those are terrible takes on this challenge. No.
Well, next we're getting to one that is a more witty take on this challenge, which was Trixie, who I think really knocked this out of the park. The little books on her head, that was a nice touch. Yeah, it's a little on the nose, it's a little cheesy, but at least she's trying to like interpret the challenge through another kind of lens. She was cinched for the gods. Like, her waist was skinny as all hell. And I really loved this look. A little confusing to me how the apple was balanced on the books, because in the extended version, she snatches the apple off and takes a bite as she's walking off.
I think it's fully a magnet.
She definitely didn't have it on a pin or anything. Like, when she lifts it off, she just slides it, and there's clearly nothing on the book.
I think it's not a real apple. I think they're magnets.
And she mimes biting it.
I loved this look from the neck up, but I think this like latex costume was really safe. And I'm not gonna give her props just because I like Trixie and just because she's wearing a color that isn't pink. I love the characterization. I love the books in the apple. I love what she chose to do with it on the runway. It was the best of these looks. Can I imagine 85 other queens slaying the color red harder than any of these queens would? Yes, I can.
The red lip on Trixie was also new.
True.
And didn't look bad.
But again, it's really just a color swap. Like, she didn't do her face that much differently than her normal Trixie face. The eye was less severe.
Listen, if you ever played Mortal Kombat growing up, you know how valuable a color swap can be.
True.
And so with that, we get to the last, which is Morgan, which I thought was the best.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I take back what I said about Trixie. This was by far the best runway look. Sorry.
Yes.
Literally, the only fault I have with this whole look was the shoe.
I wrote the same thing. Oh my God. I literally said,
I must
oh my gosh.
Something.
Yeah, I said that the shoe could have been more traditional, but that's just a nitpick.
Yeah.
I love the hair. Holy shit, that wig.
Full Judy Garland.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
And her makeup was like more subtle than I've ever seen it, and like delicate and beautiful.
She has a lot of different faces in her. Morgan is very talented. I wish that she had a real opportunity to show on the show, not in this contrived format of go home early, come back one episode, bye. They kind of acknowledge that she's Scottish, barely, when they send her home, but like that's the whole reason. She's wearing this red tartan because she's Scottish. And never on her time in the show has she explicitly said, I'm Scottish.
Compared to Sasha Velour, who like had the whole Russian dancing costume, and they like really played that aspect up.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't know that too because she doesn't have the accent anymore. But yeah, she's Scottish. She's not like her parents are Scottish. She's Scottish. Morgan McMichaels is Chad Michaels' daughter. Did you know that?
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
That's where she gets her name from. She just added the Mick because she is Scottish. This is what I mean. Why don't you talk about this shit when you're on TV, Morgan?
The more you know. This is something that is probably more subjective, but like as I was really watching back in the extended version, the back of the skirt is a like inch or two too high. It looks a little uneven, especially like when she's walking back. It looks like it was like cut a little too high. But that's just like really grasping at straws. Yeah, this did leave me wanting more of her. I really just wish that she hadn't been eliminated this episode. It would have been so nice.
Well, but there was very little justification for her to go forward because she bombed the challenge. Like, really, and they said it all over the show, but for a queen who's coming back like this, they need to like destroy the challenge and the runway. She destroyed the runway, so she was halfway there, but she really messed this challenge up. So no, send her home.
All I had for backstage was that Bebe has never watched Drag Race. We've already talked about that.
Yeah.
She was looking a fool.
Such a travesty. She doesn't know who Ornacia is.
But like Kennedy also doesn't know what a Mimi is. So.
Oh, that was pretty bad. I thought this was a setup to a joke about Mimi I'm First, because Shangela's right there, and then it just didn't go anywhere.
No Mimi I'm First reference, no Mimi from Rent reference, no candle lit, and that was all I had for that.
Yep.
So the Queen says they were walking up to the lipstick before the commercial break. There are certain moments when the light hits Shangela's makeup the right way. I'm like, oh, she is Alyssa's daughter. Yep. There it is. Yeah, this lip sync was ridiculous. I liked Trixie's pink bodysuit, as basic as it was.
This hair, this like neon yellow hair is like literally a kimchi hair. And I fully thought that Trixie borrowed this look and hair from Kimchi. I have since found out that Trixie had this hair made for her, but it's basically a Kim wig. It was fully a Kim look, and I was like, yes, representing Kim. Because, as you know, she was unjustly eliminated lip-syncing against Pearl in Kim's mint green cheongsam and the fortune cookie fascinator.
And I feel like this was the best lip sync that we've seen from Trixie this season.
There was no way she... disagree.
Which lip sync was better than this?
Well, I mean, it didn't fit the song, but the stunts she was pulling to that Diana Ross lip sync against Bebe were at least trying harder.
I don't know. The kicking and the frantic energy of the Diana Ross thing did not capture me. It seemed like it lacked confidence.
If you watch that Trixie performance in her pink tartan outfit against Bebe on mute, and you had no idea what song it was, that is a better performance on mute than this for sure. Trixie did not try. I fully think that Trixie is of the Katya school of, I don't want to win this lip sync. They did Freaky Money, right? So this song is a bounce track, and it's about, like, twerking and, like, booty popping. And she had no ass, she had no comedy, no gags, no nothing. When it gets to, like, the drop where it's like, money, 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 she's not even doing anything with her ass. Like, she gave up. Shangela...
Right, because by that point, Shangela was doing her whole gag, and who the hell is not going to be affected by that? I felt bad by that point, but at the beginning, I felt like Trixie really was there and giving her all.
No.
I agree that she lost steam as it went on. Shangela is a stunt queen. We've established she's a stunt queen. There was no way she could lose with this gag. But at least Shangela didn't just let the fat suit do the job for her. She was still giving it within the fat suit. And that's what makes it funny, is that she is dancing her ass off. And, it was funny. I was laughing. The judges were laughing. Some people thought it was fat shaming. Some people tweeted about it being fat shaming. I mean, I can see where they're coming from. I don't know if I have a place to speak on it, but
I just think I don't know. Fat suits are such low-hanging fruit.
It seemed like dated humor. It was very 90s
It was
comedy.
just lazy humor. It's like, wow, she literally bought the costume store fat suit, which I've seen other people wear the exact fat suit in TV shows or shit.
And speaking of lowbrow humor, we didn't even mention this because we didn't acknowledge the fact that there was a completed presentation of the challenge, but the fart jokes in the little skit were just not in any way funny.
That is offensive. That's not even a lowest common denominator. That's just not funny. It's offensively bad.
The whole preview, final presentation of that movie challenge, whatever, I was shocked at how scrapped together it was, because they were literally using clips that we had seen in the behind the scenes rehearsals footage. I think that this was such a rush job. I don't even know if they used everything that was in the original script, or if they ran out of time and were just we need to throw this together, get them on a green screen. But it was one of the least cohesive, least funny things that I have seen as a product on the show. This season does not have a good track record.
This is the worst challenge ever on Drag Race.
Oh, wow.
I think so. I guess I could go through and look to make sure, but yeah, I think this is literally the worst challenge ever on Drag Race, ever.
It's up there. So All-Star Season 3 is looking great. So Shangela wins the lip sync, and she sends home Morgan. I was sad. She should have sent Bebe home, if only.
If only. Bebe should have been gone weeks ago for proper merits, even though she wasn't the worst here, I will acknowledge. part of me, you know, like you have the Roxy Andrews effect where you're like rooting for this person to go home even when they didn't do the worst that week because like why are they still here?
I like had a little bit of hope that Shangela would choose Bebe when she was like, oh, this is going to ruin friendships, blah, blah, blah.
No.
Do you think that Trixie also chose Morgan?
I hope that Trixie chose Bebe.
Yeah, I swear.
I think, I think it's a coin flip.
Well, we'll see next week. I am still pulling for Team Shangela. You know, did some serious reflecting, and I'm still living for the rags to riches story that spans multiple seasons. Just from a narrative point of view, she came back, and her third time she is Cinderella at the ball. Like, you can't get better than that for reality TV.
Let me just say, because I'm sure the fans are going to come for me, I would no longer classify myself as anyone but Shangela. I think Trixie's gonna win. Am I excited for it at all? No. The season is really kind of deflated in a way. I like Trixie. I wanted her preseason to win. Now I'm just like, I think she's gonna win. Do I think she really deserves it? No. But do I think Shangela really deserves to win? No. Do I think Bendela was robbed and blah, blah, blah? No. But do I think Bendela kind of deserves to win? Yes. Maybe. I mean, the problem is that she took up so many of those wins, and that the format of the show is building the legitimacy for who should win based on their performance in the challenges. And because so many of them have just been like erased now, it's hard to like root for or feel satisfied with any of these queens winning. Should Bebe win? Absolutely not. Should Kennedy win? Absolutely not. Does Trixie or Shangela really deserve to win? Nah. Not even Shangela, who did much better in the lip syncs that she won for and in several of the challenges. But I can't feel excited about it, and not because I'm a Shangela hater, but just because it doesn't seem that great because Ben did so much better than her. And not only that, I don't know how much you watched the preview for the next episode, but A, the challenge looks monumentous, but B, all those eliminated queens came back again. So some riggery is definitely afoot. Y'all, you can clock me because I keep rooting for my good old sis, Aja. But like, Aja kind of feels like, had she not been taken out when she did, and she was given real props for Snatch Game, and frankly, the episode she was eliminated, because she did really well that episode, sorry. That seems like someone who could have risen into a considerable winner post Ben de la Creme, you know what I mean? Because you know how they tried to have Trixie be like nothing, and then she was going to be on her come up towards the end of the season, right? Well, Trixie's still not really doing that. Like, her Erin Brockovich in this thing was good, but like it wasn't like wow.
Yep.
So,
I agree. I think Aja was the most exciting thing about this season.
Same.
The redemption of Aja, and her. I think that she'll probably get the biggest boost post-season.
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Other than like, if Trixie wins, Trixie, or if Shangela wins, Shangela.
There's no way Bebe or Kennedy's going to win. There's the chance Bebe is not even competing in the competition. We're going to find out everything next week.
Yep, I fully think that's true. I think that's the tea leaves. That's my religion now.
Well, you really did. If we rewind back to the beginning of the season, when I said that was a theory, you said that you wouldn't believe it, or you wouldn't like it, or something.
I respect both Shangela and Bebe. I think they deserve to be top 4 for sure, if not the top 3 with Trixie. But I think Trixie deserves to win.
Well, I do not think that Bebe is going to win. In fact, this is the theory with Bebe in the competition.
Okay.
And this is also, I won't take credit for this. It's something that I saw on Reddit. It's just like a fan conspiracy theory. But what we think is that Bebe is actually a mole, a plant, and not actually competing, and will go all the way to the top 3, and then it'll be revealed that the winner is going to be chosen by Bebe, and so she'll judge them not only on their performances, but also on like how they conducted themselves through the competition backstage, how she saw them progress throughout the arc, and she'll be the one to determine which one of them wins.
Girl, I want to vomit right now. That better not be true.
That would be such a surprise ending.
Stupidest twist ever. I don't believe this conspiracy at all. I mean, I watched how the season played out after that.
Yeah, no matter what happens, we can all count on the fact that we'll all be winners because we won't have to watch this season anymore. I'm honestly more excited for this season to be over than for anybody to win. The best episode was definitely The Bachelor, and it was all downhill from there. Glad that season 10 is going to come to just kind of like cleanse everyone.
Exactly. I'm just excited for season 10. Fuck this
I
season.
think they knew this season was shit, which is why they followed it up so soon after. We literally don't even get a week break before season 10
Honestly,
is on the air.
I think you're right.
So with that said, we'd like to know who you think is going to win next week, if it's going to be Shangela or Trixie, or Kennedy or Bebe, if that's, if you can build a case, conspiracy theorists of the internet, please let us know. Let us know if you agreed or disagreed with anything we said, as always. We want to generate discussion with y'all in the comments below. And yeah, other than that, thanks for watching. Yeah, right? We're like done.
Yeah.
We thank y'all so much for watching, and we'll see you very soon. All right, bye.
Bye.